I usually hate characters in anime that are dumb and annoying. Characters that refuse to grow up. They make me want to rip my fucking eyes out when I see them, and I have a big soft spot for characters that are mature, thoughtful, and badass. And yes, for me, characters can definitely make or break a show. So if a show has a really great character, maybe someone I can relate to, someone that is actually charming, or someone who is just plain cool, I would most likely like the show just from that fact alone. And some of whom I would consider the epic characters are Gintoki from Gintama, Lelouch from Code Geass, and the one I'd like to talk about today, Sakuta from Bunny Girl Senpai. Sakuta to me was a big reason why I like Bunny Girl Senpai so much. His snarky comments are goddamn gold, and the way he says things is always amazing.
タイツを脱ぐ女子ってなんかエロいな。
みんなバカ。覗かないでよ。
大丈夫です。僕はシャワーの音だけでご飯3杯はいけるんで。
It was a refreshing and funny time for me. Of course, it was all in moderation, and he knows when it was too much, and usually only uses these lines to lighten up the conversation, adding some points to his character. He's funny but considerate and knows how to read the room, which landed him more points in my book. Of course, this is just one of the many aspects that I love about him, but before I get to my other points, let's get some background knowledge about him first. Sakuta Asasagawa faced many challenges and problems. His sister was bullied and got affected by adolescent syndrome, an abnormal event caused by emotional instability. Because of it, her sister got cuts and bruises and eventually lost most of her memories. He himself also got affected by it and got a big wound on his chest. No one would really believe in their stories, and they all pass it off as self-harm and mental illness. His mother, because of everything that was happening, started going crazy as well, and the normal life Sakuta was so used to started falling apart and breaking down piece by piece. He ended up feeling depressed and saw no value in his life anymore. Nothing is going his way, until a certain person cheered him up and brought him back up, Makinohara Shoko.
私の人生にも決して大きな夢や希望はありませんでした。それでも私は自分の人生に意味を見つけられました。私はね、作田くん、人生って優しくなるためにあるんだと思っています。
優しくなるため。
昨日の私よりも今日の私がちょっとだけ優しい人間であればいいなと思いながら生きています。
あのさ、翔子さん。
何ですか？
僕も翔子さんのように生きてもいいかな。
当たり前じゃないですか。人に理解されない苦しみを知った作田くんならきっと誰よりも優しくなれます。絶対に誰かの支えになってあげられます。
僕が知らない価値観だった。
After this, he started changing. He started to find value in his life, accepting everything that had happened and taking it as it goes, but also living life to be kinder each day. We are the product of our environment, and I think Sakuta embodies this saying quite well. Sakuta had to be the reliable older brother when his family were all experiencing difficulty. This was no time to be a child, and he had to mature in order to cope with everything that was happening, and he did just that. And by the time we get to watch him, he do be a Chad. Sakuta's perspective on human relationships is admirable.
君、友達いないでしょ。
友達なら2人もいます。
2人はもかしら。
友達なんて2人いれば十分だと僕は思いますけどね。そいつらと一生友達すればいいんだし。
This was one of my favorite Sakuta moments, and it was really cool. He's cool with what he's got. He's thankful for them. Honestly, everyone is built differently and we all have our own preferences. And Sakuta has his own as well. He has the poor but rich attitude, and throughout it all we get to see him do his best for his friends and family, so willing to go the extra mile for the people that matter to him. He's kind, no doubt about it. However, he also knows restraint and moderation. He knows he can't really save others but only help them save themselves, so he chooses to be a pillar of support to everyone around him.
ねえ、あんたは親のことどう思ってんの？
僕の家庭の事情知ってるか？
うん、お姉ちゃんから大体聞いてる。
結局楓のことは全部僕に任せて、今は別々に暮らしてる状態。
それでどう思ってるの？親のこと。
親だと思ってる。
は？何それ？もっといろいろあんでしょ？好きとか嫌いとかムカつくとかうざいとか。
ならそれ全部かな。
恨んでない？
別に。
なんで？
多分親だから。
He's a good friend, a good brother, and a good son. He understands why his parents did what they did, while also thinking that they definitely could have done better. He still thinks of them as family, and this is something I find great. If he'd had hated his parents, I wouldn't really care at all. But the fact that through it all, after somewhat getting left behind and almost abandoned, he still thinks of them as parents and doesn't resent them. And that is really admirable.
パンダ見に行くんじゃなかったのかよ。年間パスの元取るって言ったじゃないかよ。明日には学校にも行けそうだ。行けそうだって言ってたんだよ、楓は。
Sakuta always seems so strong and calm. He seems like a guy you could rely on anytime. However, Sakuta is still human and he has his own weaknesses and flaws. The Sakuta we usually see is gone for this time and we get to see him in a vulnerable spot. He's crying that he lost the Kaede that he spent so much time with. The Kaede that loved pandas, the Kaede that loved her pajamas, the Kaede that he once knew is gone forever. And who wouldn't feel so weak in a moment like this? No matter how strong or mature someone is, when they lose a connection they treasure, they probably can't help but cry and feel depressed when it happens. There are more scenes like this throughout the anime. We see him make mistakes, we see him weak, we see him break down. And these scenes show the flaws that Sakuta has as a person, the weaknesses that he has. He can't really do the right thing every time, and it made him feel more grounded for me. We got to see another side of Sakuta and it made it cool, and just reminded me that the epic characters always have a human element to them. Gintoki's harsh emotions, Lelouch's mistakes, and Sakuta's regret. But it's how you make up for your flaws and mistakes that make a big difference. And after he makes these mistakes, he owns up to it and tries to do something about it, and it's really admirable. It's not always about how you trip and fall and stumble, it's how you get back up. So overall, I think Sakuta is a great character. He's definitely someone people can look up towards. He may not be the most well-written character out there, but he is great nonetheless. He was a reasonably mature guy with a great sense of humor and reacts how most normal people would react, especially to your sister's advances. Like, holy shit, who the fuck likes this? So yeah, some people may say otherwise, but he's a great as fuck character in my eyes. That's it. That's why I thought Sakura's a great character. Hope you guys liked it.
美人の先輩のためにならどんな恥もかけるなんてやつが青春豚野郎じゃなくて何なのよ。